Questions from many of you guitar students. You want to know how to play chords on the guitar, how to play melodies on the guitar. Well, I don't think there's a standardized way to do that, you know. It's one important concept that I know you must practice your scales. You must practice your scales, especially your major scales, because if you want to play melodies, you need your scale. Because you're going to play single notes. The single notes, they're going to come from the scales. If you want to play chords, you also need your scales, because the chords you're going to play, they're going to be built from the notes, you know, in the scales. So there's no way around it. You cannot escape learning your scales if you want to play chords or melodies on the guitar. So you must learn and practice your scales. There's no way around it. So for you to practice your scales efficiently, then you need to know the locations of the notes on the fretboard. You need to know where the notes are. Every time you place your finger, you know, in a fret, you know what note you're playing. So the piece of advice I can give you is to buy a book with tablature and music notations, a combination of music notations and tablatures, so you can see, you can follow the music. At the same time, you can see from the tablatures where to place your fingers on the fretboard. And then as you become more efficient, then you may not even depend on the tablatures anymore to play the notes on the guitar. So it is paramount that you know that you learn your scale, especially the major scale. And then when you know your major scale, then you can experiment with the minor scale, the different types of minor scales, such as the harmonic minor scales and the melodic minor scale, and so on and so on. But you must know your scale. Okay. Played the C major scale, and then I play C major seventh chord. Okay, I play the C major scale, and I use a high position, a high voicing here to play. There is it's the C is on the 10th fret, 10th fret, and the root of the C major scale here is on the 10th fret, is the 4th string, and I play the scale. Then I play the C major 7 chord. I can play it down here. There's different way you can play that scale. I mean, that chord. This is one way. This is another way. Another way. Another way. So, you know, you need. There's no way around it. Okay, you must know your scales, and you must know your scale. And I would even say in all 12 keys, your major scales, especially in all 12 keys. Okay, because you're going to need those notes to make up your solo, to play your solos on the spot, or maybe in written forms, if you want to sit down and write your own notations. So you need your scales. There's no way around it. So when you play, I'm going to show you another example why you need to practice your scale. You need to know your scale. You want to know how to play solo. Well, when you play a scale, you're playing single notes. You one at a time. So it's just like playing a solo, except that you would not play a solo just playing just the scale the way it is. So you're going to have to mix them up in order to make it sound. You're going to have to create phrases. Okay, so just like when you speak, you create phrases. You can create phrases, one bar, one measure phrase, or a 2 measures phrase, 3 measures phrase, 1 bar phrase, whatever you want, and with some rests. Okay, because when you speak, you don't just keep going. Okay, as you speak, you articulate, and you don't just keep going. You speak in phrases. You stop to breathe, and then you start playing again. It's the same thing when you play the guitar and any other instrument, as a matter of fact. So the solo is what your solo is what you thinking. It's what you're hearing from your brain at the time you're playing the guitar. Whatever you hear, in your in your brain, that's what you're going to play on the guitar. You're singing something in your brain, not with your voice, but I guarantee you, when you're playing your chords, okay? When you're playing that progression I just played, you singing something in your head. I bet you are. What you need to do, whatever you're hearing, you just play it on the guitar. That's the advice I can give you when it comes to solo. Know your scales, and then when you're playing the guitar, whatever you hear in your brain, you put it, you play it on the guitar, okay? But you have to know your scale, okay? Because whatever you hear in your brain, it's part of a scale of scales. You understand? So this is the major scale. That's the C major scale, okay? Whatever I just played, what I just played now is what I was hearing. So that's all. That's the way you improvise. That's the way you to solo. Now, when it comes to play chord now, you need to know how to build chord using your scales. For example, your major scale. The basic chord that you can build using your major scale, for example, they are built in intervals of thirds. They can be either major third or minor thirds. A combination of major thirds and minor thirds, and so on and so on. You can have a three notes chord, which is a triad, which is composed of a major third and a minor third. The chords are the chords are interval of thirds stacked on top of each other. So in when you play the major scale, for example, then you want to play C major triad. So you're going to play, so that you start with C and triad. You can talk about I told you build the chord in interval of thirds. That means from the C, I need the third note up. It's going to be E. So I know it's E. This is C. The third note, okay, is E. Okay, from E, I need another third note. From E, it's going to be G. Okay? It's going to be G. So it's going to be C, E, G. And then I repeat the C, the root, which is octave. Okay? Okay? Chords are built in an interval of thirds, basically. So the one that just from when you have from in a major third is 4 half steps, which is 2 whole steps. A minor third is 3 half steps, which is one whole step and a half. Okay, 3 half steps, that's a minor third. That's a minor thirds. That's a minor third, and 2 half steps. That's a major third. So a major triad is composed of a major third from C to E, and a minor third from E to G. Okay? Okay? You have to know how to build chords on the scales, from the scales. Now, you know, I can build chords from the on using notes from the C major scale, but also I can build chords from the notes of minor scales, C minor scale, and so on and so on. But this time we're using the major scale, C major scale. Okay. So when we start learning how to play the guitar, we learn some. I'm sure most of you start by learning open chords such as C major, G, D, A, E minor, A minor, all these things, you know, D minor. You learn all those chords as beginners, and we try to memorize them. Okay, so every time we play them so many times, we memorize them. So as we play, they come natural to us. But it is absolutely impossible to memorize many chords. Okay, so you need to learn how to build your own chords on the guitar and on the keyboard also. So if you know the formula, you know, chords are built in interval of thirds, major thirds and minor thirds. Then you can, if you know your scales, you can build your own chords from the notes in the scale. Alright, so there is another advantage that you have when you play your major scale. Okay, you can build a different type of chord on every single note in the major scale. You know, I know when you play, let's say when you memorize your chords, and then you grab your guitar, right away, you know. Or you can transpose. Okay, those chords are chords that you remember because you practice them all the time. They're bar chords. From one bar chord, like F, for example, all you got to do, move up and down. You use the same shape, and then you can play 12 chords, and you know. So those chords, you know, they come natural to you because you kind of memorize them. Okay, You know, it's especially the bar chord. But you cannot limit yourself, you know, with only those chords. Now, when you start playing jazz music, now you're going. It's a different ball game. Now you're gonna learn different, man, all kinds of chords. You know, different type of voicings and extensions of the chords and so on, and it is when you start playing jazz, then you have no choice to learn music, okay? Because now it's a different story, okay? I'm not saying that when you play rock, you know, when you play rock music, the other style of music, you don't learn music. Of course you do, but I'm saying, but the jazz music is so, you know, I don't have to tell you, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of practice and dedication to learn those sophisticated types of chords. So let me give you a trick. How to learn chords on using using the major scale. For example, the C major scale. On each note of the C major scale, you can build a different. You can build a different type of chords. Okay, and of course, those chords you can add extensions, and then make them in a more sophisticated and play them in more sophisticated ways. So, for example, C major scale. Okay, so on the C, you can build a chord in interval of thirds, for example, of course. So on the first note of the major scale, of the C major scale, you're gonna play a major chord. Okay, it's gonna be a 4 notes chord, and then its name is C major 7. You can play it as open chord, or you can play it as a bar chord. C major 7. Now, on the second note of the C major scale, you can play a minor type chord. The second note of the C major scale is D. Then you can play D minor 7. Okay. Of course, you can play different versions of the same type of D minor chord. Okay, I can play D minor 11 if I want to. Okay, now on the third note of the C major scale, which is E, you're going to play another minor type chord. I'm going to play E minor 7. Okay. And you could play other versions of the chord, like an E minor 11. On the fourth note of the major scale, of the C major scale, you're going to play a major type chord, and it's going to be the fourth note of the C major scale is F. So you're going to play F major 7th chord. Okay? Okay? On the 5th note of the C major scale, you're going to play okay. In some progressions, you might just play just G major 7 chord, okay? G major 7 chord. In some cases, but normally on the 5th note of the major scale, you play a dominant chord, which can become a dominant 7th when you add flat 7 extension to it. But I'm just gonna play just a regular. Well, you know what? I play G major G. I play G dominant 7 chord. Okay. That's a dominant 7th chord of the C major scale. That's the 5th note of the scale. Now, on the 6th note of the C major scale, which is A, you're going to play minor 7 type chord, which is going to be A minor 7th. You can play different types, you know, different versions of the same chord. That's a G, that's a A minor 9 right there. Okay. Now, on the 5th, no, that was the 6th. On the 7th note of the major scale, in the C major scale, the 7th note is B. You play minor 7 flat 5 chord. So it's going to be right over here. Okay. That's B minor 7 flat 5, and then you come back to your G major 7th. We're gonna play. Let's play all those chords on the 7 notes of the C major scale, and then we go back to the root. We start with C major 7. I'm not going to say, well, okay. We named them. Okay. No, I'm not gonna name them. You know, let's just play. Let's just play them. Okay. The only one I'm gonna name is the first one. Okay. Here we go. C major 7th. Just play C major 9 right there. Okay. So one more time. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can put some type of rhythm to it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.